Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Vrindavan Dham. Jaya Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Radhe. Jaya Prabhupada 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 Shila Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Reading from Prabhupada Lilamrita, your ever well-wisher, written by Satsvarupa Das Maharaj. So we continuing with this chapter, Let There Be a Temple, Part 1. So this is Vrindavan, October 17, 1972. Prabhupada had come to Vrindavan to observe the Kartik season from October 16 to November 14. He planned to lecture daily at the Samadhi of Rupa Goswami in the courtyard of the Radha Damodar temple, speaking from the nectar of devotion, his own translation of Rupa Goswami's book, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. On his western tour, he had invited devotees to join him for Kartik in Vrindavan, and now a few dozen devotees from America, Europe, India, and other parts of the world had gathered to be with him. He was concerned with developing his Vrindavan project. So rather than immediately rushing to Bombay, he had come here first, sending some of his leading disciples to tackle the problems in Bombay. Now, like a general engaged on a different front, he awaited word from his lieutenants in Bombay. He moved into his two small rooms at the Radha Damodar temple while his disciples stayed nearby in the former palace of the Maharaj of Bharatpur, an old building near the Yamuna. Tamal Krishna Goswami, Shyamasundar, and Karandhara arrived in Bombay. Things had worsened, Giriraj informed them. When Mr. N had seen the notice in the newspaper publicly advising that ISKCON had entered into an agreement for the Juhu property, he had become furious. Giriraj had gone to him with folded hands and bowed down before him, but Mr. N would not be appeased. He had gone back on all his promises and had cancelled the sales agreement on the plea that the devotees had not obtained the deed within a 6-month period. The 2 lakh down payment he had claimed was now his, and the devotees should vacate the land immediately. Mr. N shut off the water supply to Hare Krishna land. Several days later, a hoodlum had shown up at the entrance of the property, brandishing a machete whenever devotees passed by. A friend of Mr. N had printed a handbill ascribing scandalous behavior to the American Hare Krishna devotees and was having it distributed at the nearby Wild Park's train station. Although few devotees had left and others wanted to, about 30 devotees still remained in Bombay. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki. So before we go into reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, let me take this divine opportunity of glorifying Vaishnava Acharyas. So very, very auspicious day. So beginning with Vasanta Panchami. The first day of spring in Vrindavan. On this day, the deities are offered many flowers, leaves, and new shoots of grass. Shishikarantai Mayapur Sashiki. The deities in the temples, especially in Vrindavan, wear yellow or yellow green on this day. The Brijvasis paint designs on Krishna's body and perform special arti for him. It is appropriate to offer yellow flowers too. Reading about Srimati Vishnu Priya Devi. The Supreme Lord has three different internal Shaktis, potencies Shri, Bhu, and Nila. Bhu Shakti appeared as Srimati Vishnu Priya Devi in Gaur Leela to assist Sri Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement. King Satyajit, the father of Satyabhama in Krishna Leela, appeared in Gaur Leela as the Brahmana Sanatan Mishra, Vishnu Priya Devi's father. Srimati Vishnu Priya Devi overflowed with all good qualities. Her beauty surpassed the goddess of fortune. She was devoted to her parents and dutifully followed scriptural injunctions. Regularly, she worshipped Tulasi Devi and observed vows of austerity, such as bathing 3 times daily in the Ganges. Whenever she met Sachimata at the Ganges, Vishnu Priya would humbly bow down at her feet. Sachi Devi often thought that beautiful Vishnu Priya would make an ideal bride for her son, Nimai. After Lakshmi Priya Devi, Lord Chaitanya's first wife, died in separation from the Lord, Nimai Pandit married Srimati Vishnu Priya Devi. Chaitanya Mangal and Chaitanya Bhagavad give elaborate descriptions of this most auspicious wedding. Buddhimanta Khan, a rich landowner, bore all the expenses of the opulent royal wedding of the divine couple, Vishnu Priya and Sri Nimai Pandit. All the people of Navadvip and the neighboring villages came to the wedding. During the ceremony, all eyes were on the divine couple, as if to devour the matchless beauty of Vishnu Priya and Nimai Pandit. The Vaishnavas sang Hari's glories. The Brahmanas made a circle around the Lord and chanted the Vedas. A sea of joy flooded the 4 directions. Those who didn't drown simply floated in bliss. The night before Lord Chaitanya took sannyas, he spoke to Vishnu Priya Devi to give her instruction and vanquish her grief and pain. After Sri Nimai Pandit left Navadvip, Vishnu Priya adopted an austere and devoted life. She became as thin as the crescent moon before Amavasya, dark moon. Following a rigid sadhana spiritual practice, she set aside 1 grain of rice for every round of Hare Krishna japa, she chanted. In the evening, Vishnu Priya Devi cooked these grains, offered them to her personal deity of Mahaprabhu, and honored the remnants. Known today as Dhameshwara Mahaprabhu, Vishnu Priya's gorgeous deity of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu resides in Navadvipa city. Sriman Mahaprabhu receives regular worship and gives unlimited mercy. Saraswati Puja, worship of Saraswati, the goddess of learning and speech on this day. On this day, prayers are offered for the blessing of wisdom and knowledge. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, appearing in 1638, Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Hari Vallabha Das, came in the disciplic succession from Sri Narottam Das Thakur. Vishwanath Chakravarti took Diksha from Radha Raman Chakravarti. Although married, Vishwanath was indifferent and soon renounced family life. He came to Vrindavan Dham and did Krishna Bhajan at Radhakund. He was known as the crest jewel of the Vaishnavas because of his pure devotion, scholarship, and the realized perception of Radha Gokulananda's intimate conjugal pastimes. He was the protector, guardian, and acharya of the historical development of Gaudiya Vaishnavism during the 16th-17th century. During his stay in Vrindavan, Vishwanath worshipped deities of Radha Gokulanand and Sri Giriraj. His Govardhan Shila was first worshipped by Lord Chaitanya, then Raghunath Das Goswami, Krishnadas Kaviraj, Shri Mukunda Das, Shrimati Krishna Priya Thakurani, and then by Vishwanath Chakravarti himself. Today, his Giriraj Govardhan deity resides in the Radha Gokulananda temple in Vrindavan. Some claim the Govardhan Shila is in Bhagavat Nivas in Raman Riti near the ISKCON Krishna Balram Mandir. In a dream, Lord Sri Krishna ordered Vishwanath to make commentaries on the Goswami's books. Immediately he started writing prolifically. Clouds would shield him from the sun whenever he sat down to write. Once a torrential downpour flooded the area where Vishwanath was writing his Bhagavad commentaries. Miraculously, not a drop of water touched Vishwanath or his Bhagavata manuscript. While compiling Mantra Ratha Dipika, explanation of Kama Gayatri, Vishwanath became perplexed. According to his exhaustive research, which indicated 25, he couldn't substantiate why Krishnadas Kaviraj wrote in Chaitanya Charitamrita that the Kam Gayatri contains 24 and a half syllables, and that these syllables correspond to the 24 and a one and a half moons present on Krishna's transcendental body. In a dream, Srimati Radhika instructed Vishwanath, "Oh Vishwanath, please don't lament anymore. What Krishnadas Kaviraj wrote is true. He is also my confidential maidservant. He knows everything about my secret innermost moods. This Kam Gayatri is the mantra for worshipping me. Indeed, I can be known by the syllables of this mantra. Without my mercy, none can learn anything about the mystery of this mantra." The solution of the half syllable is found in the book Varnagama Bhaswati. Seeing this book, Krishnadas Kaviraj wrote as he did. The letter Ya, which is followed by the letter V, as in Devayam Vidmahe, is considered to be a half syllable. This falls on Krishna's forehead because his forehead is shaped like the halo of a half moon. All the other letters of the mantra are full syllables and therefore full moons. Now wake up, check that book, and compile this evidence for everyone's benefit. Instantly awaking, Vishwanath cried out in ecstasy, "Hey Radhe, hey Radhe, hey Radhe." Having Radharani's darshan infused Vishwanath Chakravarti's writing with divine Shakti. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur wrote over 40 Sanskrit books on the science of pure devotion to Radha Giridhari. He also made sweet and highly realized Rasika Tikas, commentaries on Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, the works of Srila Rupa Goswami, Kavi Karnapur, and Narottam Das Thakur. His writings include Sri Krishna Bhavanamrita, Madhurya Kadimbini, Vrajariti Chintamani, Chamatkara Chandrika, Swapna Vilasmrita, Sankalpa Kalpa Drumna, and others. He wrote the Guruvastaka song as well, which we sing every morning during Mangal Aarti. The life and teachings of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Pad give happiness, inspiration, and transcendental wisdom to the entire Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. In Krishna Lila, he serves Srimati Radhika as Vinoda Manjari. His Samadhi is in the Radha Gokulananda temple courtyard. So, reading about Sri Pundarika Vidyanidhi. Sri Pundarika Vidyanidhi was a disciple of Sri Madhavendra Puri, the spiritual master of Gadadhar Pandit. He was Maharaja Vrishabhanu, Srimati Radharani's father in Krishna Lila. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore treated him as his father. Pundarika Vidyanidhi's father was known as Baneshwara and his mother's name was Ganga Devi. Pundarika Vidyanidhi was also an intimate friend of Swarup Damodar. Once in Jagannath Puri, Pundarika Vidyanidhi met Swarup Damodar after a long separation. In a joyful mood of friendship, Pundarik and Swarup wanted to take the dust from each other's feet. A scuffle began as they tried simultaneously catch the feet of one another, but at the same time avoid having their own feet caught. Both quite strong, neither won. But Sri Gauranga enjoyed their sporting play and everyone laughed. Pundrik Vidyanidhi has other names Shri Vidyanidhi, Acharya Nidhi, Bhaktiyanidhi, and Premanidhi given by Lord Chaitanya. Simply by hearing his name, the whole world becomes purified, said Sri Gaura. Whoever recites or hears the following narration of the meeting of Pundrik Vidyanidhi and Sri Gadadhar Pandit will receive the treasure of love of God, Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. When he first arrived in Navdvip, Pundrik Vidyanidhi disguised himself as a worldly sense enjoyer. Besides Mukunda, nobody knew that Pundrik Vidyanidhi was a pure Vaishnava. Today, I will introduce you to a most exceptional Vaishnava, said Mukunda as he took Gadadhar Pandit to meet Pundrik Vidyanidhi. They found Pundrik reclining on an opulent brass bed covered with red satin sheets, silk pillows, and topped with a three-tiered canopy. Three-tiered canopy. A gem-studded pen box stuffed with fragrant spices and betel nuts waited within arm's reach. Two shiny brass spittoons stood as silent sentries beside the bed. Seeing the mirror stained red from his chewing pan, Pundrika laughed heartily. Two servants cooled him with peacock fans. Was this a Vaishnava or a prince wallowing in luxury? Wondered Gadadhar Pandit. Doubts arose in his mind about Pundrika Vidyanidhi's spiritual status. Reading his mind, Mukunda decided to reveal the highly exalted transcendental identity of Pundrika Vidyanidhi. Mukunda recited Srimad Bhagavatam 10.6.35. Always hankering to taste the blood of small children, Putana came to kill baby Krishna. However, because she offered her breast to the Supreme Lord, Putana attained the greatest blessing of her being accepted as a mother of Sri Krishna. Hearing this verse totally transformed Pundrik Vidyanidhi. A Ganges river of tears flooded his eyes. Perspiration rained from his body, and his hair stood erect. He ripped off his embroidered silk shirt and wildly thrashed his legs about. Rolling on the ground, he wailed, "The Lord is infinitely merciful, yet he deprives me of his mercy." His clothes, brass bed, fine bed sheets, mirror, spittoons, all his opulent trappings were ripped to shreds and smashed to bits. 10 men tried but couldn't restrain the force of Pundrika's ecstasy. Finally, his spiritual emotions reached their peak and he lost external consciousness. After witnessing this spectacular display of transcendental feelings, Gadadhar Pandit realized his offense in misjudging Pundrika Vidyanidhi to be a materialistic devotee. To rectify his mistake, he wanted to take initiation from Pundrik Vidyanidhi. 6 hours later, Shri Pundrika returned to external consciousnus. Now he seemed calm and composed. Happily, he initiated Gadadhar Pandit. Another incident in the life of Pundrika Vidyanidhi involves his criticizing the priest of the Jagannath temple for offering an unwashed woolen covering to the Lord. Jagannath Swami chastised him personally for this by slapping his cheeks. The original home of Pundrik Vidyanidhi was in East Bengal in a village near Decca named Bhagia. Shri Vaishnavacharyas ki jai. Next is Sri Advaita Acharya, but I'm not sure if it is for today. The calendar, thank you. There were maybe more. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. So we continue studying from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 15. We start from text 9, but it is text 12 and 15 which has got a purport. So text 9 until 12:15 I will read myself, just translations. And also 12 to 15, maybe a bit in the interest of time, and if I have your permission, if I can just go to the Sanskrit by myself and we read translation purport. Shisuka Uvacha एवम् अवसितो राजा चित्रकेतुर्द्विजोक्तिभिः विमृज्य पाणिना वक्त्रम् आदिमालनम् अभासत. Sri Sukdev Goswami continued, thus enlightened by the instructions of Narada and Angira, King Chitraketu became hopeful with knowledge. Wiping his shriveled face with his hand, the king began to speak. King Chitraketu said, you have both come here dressed like avadhutas, liberated persons, just to cover your identities. But I see that of all men, you are the most elevated in awareness. You know everything as it is. Therefore, you are the greatest of all great personalities. Brahmanas who are exalted to the position of Vaishnavas, the most dear servants of Krishna, sometimes dress like madmen. Just to benefit materialists like us who are always attached to sense gratification and just to dissipate our ignorance. These Vaishnavas wander on the surface of the globe according to their desire. So 12 to 15. Kumaro Naradari Bhurangira Devilo Stita Apanantara Atma Vyaso Markandeyo Iha Gautama Vasisto Bhagavana Rama Kapilo Badarayani Durvasa Yagyavalkascha Jatu Karnas Tatharuni Romasascha Deva Dattam Ashuri Saptanjali Rishir Veda Shiradhomyo Muni Panchasikas Tatha Hiranya Hiranyabha Kaushalya Shrutadeva Ritadvaja Etapare cha Siddheshas Charanti Jnana Hetava. O great souls, I have heard that among the great and perfect persons wandering the surface of the earth to instruct knowledge to people covered by ignorance are Sanat Kumar, Narada, Ribhu, Angira, Devala, Asita, Apantaratma, Vyasadev, Markandeya, Gautama, Vashishta, Bhagwan Parshuram, Kapila, Sukadeva, Durvasa, Yagyavalkya, Chatukarna, and Aruni. Others are Romasha, Chavana, Dattatreya, Asuri, Patanjali, the great sage Dhaumya, who is like the head of the Vedas, the sage Panchashikha, Hiranyabha, Kaushalya, Shrutadeva, and Ritadvaja. You must certainly be among them. Purport. The word Jnana Hetava is very significant because great personalities like those listed in these verses wander on the surface of the globe not to mislead the populace but to distribute real knowledge. Without this knowledge, human life is wasted. The human form of life is meant for realization of one's relationship with Krishna or God. One who lacks this knowledge is categorized among the animals. The Lord Himself says in Bhagavad Gita 7:15, Namam duskriti no muda prapadyante naradamam mayaya parita jnana asuram bhavamashrita. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. Ignorance is the bodily conception of life. Yasya atma buddhi kunape tridhatuke saiva gokhara. Practically everyone throughout the universe, especially on this planet Bhulloka, thinks that there is no separate existence of the body and soul and therefore no need of self realization. But that is not a fact. Therefore, all the Brahmanas listed here, being devotees, travel all over the world to awaken Krishna consciousness in the hearts of such foolish materialists. The acharyas mentioned in these verses are described in the Mahabharata. The word Panchashikha is also important. One who is liberated from the conceptions of Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manamaya, Vijnanamaya, and Anandamaya, and who is perfectly aware of the subtle coverings of the soul, is called Panchashikha. According to the statements of the Mahabharata, Shanti Parva, chapters 218 to 219, an acharya named Panchashikha took birth in the family of Maharaja Janaka, the ruler of Mithila. The Sankhya philosophers accept Panchashikharcharya as one of them. Real knowledge pertains to the living entity dwelling within this body. Unfortunately, because of ignorance, the living entity identifies himself with the body and therefore feels pleasure and pain. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. वैराग्य विद्या निज भक्ति योगा शिक्षार्थमेक पुरुष पुराना श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य शरीरधारी कृपां बुद्धिर्यतमहं प्रपद्ये मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्किपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारणम् वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा what an auspicious day and what a purification having to opportunity to read about Srimati Vishnu Priya Devi uh, uh, and Acharyas Pundrik Vidyanidhi, Shunat Chakravarti Thakur, and here in this verse as well, in this translation, we get to so purifying to be able to read call out the names of Sanat Kumar, Narad Muni, Ribhu, Angira, Devala, all the saintly personalities. Very, very auspicious, very purifying. So we continue study of Srimad Bhagavatam in this episode, in this moment. Narada and Angira Muni, they are instructing King Chitraketu. And like in text 9, right, it says, thus enlightened by the instructions of Narada and Angira, King Chitraketu became hopeful with knowledge. So this is what devotees do actually. Devotees, they bring hope in the society, hopeful with knowledge. If we see the situation of King Chitraketu, such a tough spot he is in, like because of excessive material attachment only. Excessive material attachment, it's like investing all, say, money, all heart, all energy I have in where matter. So difficult it will be. If I invest whatever I possess in matter, it's going to be very difficult. Matter means what? Something which is bound to break, something which is to split on it, something which is to fall apart. But devotees coming our life is the real divine intervention. Angira Muni, Narada Muni coming to King Chitraketu, and this dialogue they are having. And furthermore, we will see then the king is very much hopeful, very optimistic. The king is now coming to reality. So this is Srimad Bhagavatam to help us understand the reality and live the reality. And if not now, then when? Uh, and tests and troubles are going to come definitely in everyone's life, definitely. And this is why, like Guru Sadhu Shastra, extremely important, extremely important. A question: who is our like audience in this Srimad Bhagavatam class? Say who is the audience? We do it online as well, and when we go out distributing books, and even in Karuna Bhavan, who is my audience and who is our immediate audience? If any thoughts, please. Yes, bro. Thank you. Any other thoughts? Speaking Srimad Bhagavatam, I should be the first listener. And even anywhere, like going out in books and wherever, I should be the first listener. This should never be out of my vision, out of my consciousness, out of my sight. I'm no preacher, I'm not preaching anyone. This is all to help me take education. Uh, the preaching is for oneself only, yes. And then without humility, there is no preaching actually. So, until and unless I become humble, how can the message of Mahaprabhu be passing through? Externally, yes, when we go out distributing books, we distinguish, discriminate, and make all those things. But internally, I should always be aware that preaching is for me. I am the audience. I should be the first listener of whatever we are discussing. And I should be the first implementer as well, if at all I can. And this is why I pray for your blessings. Kindly help. It is great to realize that one needs help, but then that is not good enough. Having that attitude, coming up with that culture, that attitude, and how to bring about a reform in one's life, which King Chitraketu is at the moment going through this dialogue with Angira Muni and Narada Muni, and then how to bring about that reform. See, there are four situations or four conditions, four situations. Shishikhorantai Mayapursa Shikija. One is Guru, he is on the absolute platform, and the Sadhaka, the Sishya, the disciple, on the also on the absolute platform. So glorious to both the Guru and the Sadhaka, the disciple. Both of them and the absolute platform, both have perfected their Krishna consciousness. While living in this world, they have like attained the divine love. Another situation, condition, Guru is not at all on the absolute platform, and the Sishya, the disciple, the Sadhaka is also not on the absolute platform at all. But they are posing as Guru and Sishya. Very difficult then. Very difficult to help someone if one is in ignorance, one doesn't want help, one is in complete, say, unaware of reality. And we see very much in this society, in the world. There's so many gurus unaware, do not know what is Guru Tattva, and so many that disciples as well, they are also very much in ignorance, nowhere close to the absolute platform, nowhere close to understanding, and what to speak of then coming to that platform or striving for that platform. So hard, no help for them. Of course prayers are there, we pray and all, but no help for someone when Guru is also completely far away from absolute platform, and disciple as well. Another, say Guru is on the absolute platform, but disciple is not on the absolute platform. What do we do then? Guru is complete pure devotee, but disciple is not there yet on the absolute platform. On the part of the disciple is Does he want to be on the absolute platform? Does he want to come to the absolute platform? Having that nishta, having that conviction, that is required. So if he has that firm conviction, Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Koriya Kya. Uh, So if he takes the guidance, this from spiritual master, and if then the inspiration will come. And see, we all are in our journey, and it is pretty much also an individual journey. Help is there throughout, inspiration is there throughout, but is it, do I really need that help? How much hunger do I feel? How much help do I want? That much help is available. And again, Krishna says, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam stateva bhajamiyam. As much help you want, I can give you that help. But when we associate with devotees, it is not like that. Devotees, Krishna also, we take one step, Krishna goes 100 steps and all. But devotees, they are even more kind. So, Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Koriya Kya. How much am I taking it in my consciousness? Then that is the way I can get into the absolute realm, absolute consciousness level. So, and pretty much an individual journey, as in it is one's direct call. We are like traveling or like flying an aeroplane. Now everyone has to fly their own aeroplane. Help can come about, but ultimately it is me. How much help do I want? How much help do I need? And the fourth status, say, fourth condition situation, Guru is not on the absolute platform, but sadhaka, disciple, is on the absolute platform. Say, for instance, Guru is not on the absolute platform, but disciple is on the absolute platform. Then the disciple can never afford to think that I have made it and I am better, definitely. But it is through the disciples being on the absolute platform, the Guru will be elevated. The Guru will be elevated. We see this in Vedic literatures in different pastimes, different eras. The disciple being in the absolute platform. So all it boils down to, by and large, kind of my personal initiative. Uh, Am I? So again, this King Chitraketu, I mean, blame can be there for anyone. No, King Chitraketu can blame the queen or his even his fortune. Hmm? But if the blame has to be taken personally, we can never find, again, like we say, right? No one can come up with an excuse to not practice Krishna consciousness. No one can come up with a reason to not practice Krishna consciousness. Excuses, plenty, but no one genuine reason why even a baby or an elderly person, whosoever, wherever residing, whatever current situation, can never come up with a reason to not practice Krishna consciousness. And excuses could be plenty. So, Rupa Goswami and Acharyas, they have given us already the warning message that advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude of the performer, of the practitioner. So, with what attitude? And it is this sadhu sangha, this devotee association, that helps understand that attitude, build that attitude, take on that attitude. And the nectar of instructions, all the instructions, they are very, very deep. On the surface, it might appear, okay, yes, I'm following, I understand these instructions. But actually, how much do I understand them instructions? How much do I follow also them instructions? Is it just on the surface? If on the surface, then won't help. On the surface, then won't help. Then easily get carried away, can easily get carried away. We have to go deep in Adhyan, in study of Srimad Bhagavatam, go deep in devotee association, go deep in devotee love, care, uh, um, devotee interactions, very much. Otherwise, very difficult. See, um, all these learnings for us, there could have been, King Chitraketu could have avoided this situation in his life. Could he not? Could have avoided coming to this day in his life. He definitely could have met Angira Muni and Narada Muni, but with a different view altogether, different setting altogether. So again, these are elevated personalities, not for them, but for myself. How from my current situation can I rectify? Can I make it better? Can I avoid? Can I learn out of it? Can I grow out of it? Maya is tremendously strong. Okay, maybe just I will take a short pause if there are any questions, comments, or yes, bro.
Otherwise, we can't preach the message of Mahaprabhu. I was just wondering, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, there's a place where he's saying, I will assume the role of being like a singer guru, if that's what's needed, you know. And Srila Prabhupada said that Sankirtan devotee is like a lion on the chase, and when he comes back to the temple, then he's like a sheep in the fold.
So that is the humility. That is the humility, going out and preaching like a ferocious lion. That is the humility wanted. Sorry, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, so just a couple of questions. One was how to help one who doesn't know he needs help. How to help someone who doesn't know he needs help. And okay,
Thank you. So just on that, humility is again very, there are many things which are very misunderstood. So humility doesn't necessarily just mean staying quiet, staying silent, or uh, it's not just like etiquette oriented thing that so such a good etiquette. Yes, that is also there. Humility is what going out and preaching ferociously, preaching as it is, being true. So Arjuna was humble. He fought very valiantly. And likewise, we see Acharyas, Prabhupada's preaching. Every class of Prabhupada is tremendously ingrained with humility and deep knowledge altogether. Every class. This is why whatever Prabhupada seeks, peace, it is never like, it could be cutting at the same time, but cutting what one's false ego say. And on this thing, how to uh, help someone understand that maybe he needs help. Hmm? One of the thing is time is a big healer. From our side, we can inspire, we can understand the person's situations, the reality, the assess the situation, and as you say, we have to be kind to be cruel. We have to be cruel to be kind. So we can do that as well. Again, assessing the situation, the requirement, the need of the hour, and then time is a big healer. To be more real or practical. Um, it is not, some people they cannot because of heavy offenses actually cannot come into practicing Krishna consciousness in this life, in this whole life. So some people need some distance and maintaining that distance for them to grow, and time will heal. And some who are actually there by some interaction, some dialogue, and all, having patience on our side, then one can understand that yes, I need help. And those who are a bit more closer, they will realize that this is helping me. This is helping me. And internally for myself, I can never afford to think that I become a teacher. Internally for myself, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, right? One who considers himself to be a guru is a guru, as in a person in complete ignorance and animal mentality altogether. So in
I was just going to say, when you're helping someone who doesn't need it, I heard that sometimes it's better to just wait, just be patient, like you say, at the time. And then when the person himself says, "Oh, I was really proud when I did that," then you can come in and say, "Well, actually, I did notice that." But, so then you can confirm and then show them support. But you have sometimes to wait because if the timing's wrong, then it can be like it can seem really inappropriate, even though it is the truth.
and when the person realizes, I should not for a moment think, yes, see, I was correct. I was right then. victory. Like, I should not think that, okay, he needed help. Okay, fine, I'm waiting. And he realized he made a mistake, he got puffed up or something. And when he says, oh, I should not consider in my heart that, yes, I was correct, or, yeah, I helped him. No, no. I can never afford to think that I helped someone and all. We just want to be under the shelter or the potency of the internal energy. Krishna is helping everyone. Yeah. Acharyas are helping everyone. Prabhupada is helping everyone. Spiritual master is helping everyone. We just want to come under that umbrella, under that shelter, under that energy. Otherwise, there's lots to get distracted in life. And there's an English sort of expression saying, don't know how common or popular, but there is many a slip between the cup and the lip. There's many a slip between the cup and the lip. So, in our journey towards attaining that transcendental consciousness, that absolute realm, and absolute engagement, eternal engagement, there's many a slip, many a slip. Hmm. So, it is all about being watchful, being careful, and first of all, I have to be clear within myself. If I am not educating myself, then externally many roles will come, externally many things will come, and we have to take on those roles as well. Yes, why not? We should be taking on those roles, but in consultation, in devotee interaction, these definitely there were ways why how Ajamil could have protected himself, how King Chitraketu could have uh, bypassed this lamentation. This human form of life is meant to bypass all these material temptations, material lamentation, and all this. Huh? So we bypass Varnashrama Dharma is there, and things are there to help us bypass and come to the actual condition of the soul proper. Yes, Prabhu.
And the final one was you were saying devotees are more kind than Krishna, and I was wondering if Krishna arranges it like that because Srila Prabhupada told Bhavananda Maharaj at the time that Krishna asked him to come to the material world, and he said, "I don't want to go to that horrible place." And Krishna said, "If you just go and write the books, I will take care of everything else." So it's like Krishna was the one who initiated Prabhupada coming and made him look like he was more kind, than Krishna.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, surely Krishna arranged, but for Prabhupada, Acharya, no? And Krishna arranged for Parikshit Maharaj, whom we read about in Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna arranged for Arjuna. This is Krishna arranging for King Chitraketu, is he not? King, uh, Krishna is wanting that separation from King Chitraketu. Okay, so let us further on. Actually, we'll see later on how Krishna arranges for King Chitraketu. Krishna arranging for others, but for a conditioned soul like me, I cannot entertain thinking using this as an excuse or something that yes, like sort of Krishna arranging me. Of course, everything is under Krishna's sanction. Krishna has sanctioned it. Hmm. Under everything is in his control, under his purview. And if I have that sanity, I should be able to perceive that whatever is happening in my life is in a way by Krishna's arrangement to bring me closer to him. But surely there would be situations in my life where I could have bypassed things. I could have made this journey shorter, say. No? This doesn't give me any license or liberty to commit mistakes. Oh, Krishna's arrangement. Again, blame is a easy pick, right? Another way I can say, right? Well, Krishna's arrangement. Hmm? So this is why the Guru Sadhu Shastra the most difficult thing is to have a heart to heart connection with a devotee. Very difficult to have a heart to heart connection. So, the practice of Krishna consciousness is like practical wisdom, right? So much of culture, behavior, etiquette, everything, philosophy, so ingrained. And we want to have that heart to heart relation. So, making a place in someone's heart is very difficult. Very difficult. As Panchatattva Prabhu was saying yesterday, right? Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam. to be able to read someone's mind. Okay, we can read someone's mind. We read Krishna's mind. Man mana bhav mad bhakto mad yajimam namaskaro. Perhaps on the surface, but we know. No, we understand Prabhupada's mind. Uh, Maybe on the surface, or how much deeply are we in connection, that is another thing. But to make a residence in someone's heart, very difficult, very difficult. So this should be the meditation, this should be the mood. Until and unless I'm clear in my focus, until and unless, then there's many a slip between the cup and the lip. Yes, probably.
So this is question from Laura online. Hare Krishna, how can we safeguard ourselves from the prajalpa we have to participate in our daily lives?
Very nice question. One way could be coming more regular to temple, uh, associating more with devotees, and then we can give away that prajalpa. And sometimes when in preaching, we associate with work people at work and others, and but this should be okay. How to help them? Again, when we ourselves are educating ourselves and we ourselves are a bit firmly established in Krishna consciousness, then that Krishna consciousness message would come about through the person, to the sadhaka, and then that prajalpa environment would be slowly changing. At least person would realize that I'm doing so much prajalpa. So one way is by becoming a role model, by being a role model for someone, that everyone needs help actually. So one would realize that he is something different, she is something different. Well, she's not into gossips, he's not into gossips and all. You know, everyone is taking a quiet moment in life. Everyone wants some quiet moment in life. Everyone wants that, okay, now I just be in the living room and no one disturbs me. I do not want to speak with anyone and all. So how can we make ourselves available to be in that person's environment within that quiet time? Because in that quiet time is the time for reflection, and if in that person's reflection we can leave some impression that yes, she is not into prajalpa, he is not into prajalpa, then we can open up that channel of friendship with that person, yeah, and help him and help ourselves. Our nourishment is preaching. If we are not into preaching, we won't feel nourished. Our nourishment is devotee association, Bhagavad Katha. If we are not reading, if we are not doing japa, if we are not listening ourselves, we won't feel that nourishment. So the way to come out of prajalpa is like definitely taking more association with devotees, getting more energized in devotee association. That will be the strength. And how can I be a role, somewhat inspiration for others, and understand how to diligently uh, mold the talk in a way from Prajalpa to Krishna Katha. By doing that, and depending again on situation, sometimes circumstance, sometimes we can be direct upfront. We need not entertain any sort of nonsense thing. This is for our benefit and from the other person's benefit as well. Building friendship with that barriers, very much needed, with that bridge or barriers to protect ourselves and to protect the other person. Until and unless we have that respect for ourselves, and until and unless we can build that respect, the other person, I mean, if the other person has that respect for us, then we can give in more Krishna conscious education, knowledge, that friendship. Everyone is looking for that. And if a person is little bit out of prajalpa, he will find some peace, some knowledge, some nourishment, that will be little bit of boost in one's overall well-being. Then one can realize actually Krishna consciousness is not just a sentimental practice, and definitely it is not like a made-up thing or imagination or a concept in the mind sort of thing. So on those lines, if that helps, by changing our association perhaps if needed, or giving that much association that is required, being clear with ourselves and passing on that message, Were you saying something, Pep?
Laura's help is we have Rupa Goswami, Krishneti Manishadriyata, that we should use the mind to respect everybody. So we may have people that we can't kick them out of our life because they're just part of our routine thing where we have to do stuff and we meet people. So we're respectful in the mind, and then to those that are initiated and engaged in worshipping the deity, we offer dandavats, pana, tubas, and then to the devotees whose heart is completely devoid of the propensity to criticize, they're the ones that we look to for association. So we respect everyone, and then we're looking for those devotees we can reveal our heart to. Like you say, to have a heart-to-heart connection with someone who you can trust, who you can take into complete confidence, and they won't judge you or criticize you.
Yes, the nectar of instructions, all the help is there in the nectar of instructions, especially first 8. 9, 10, 11 is a different level altogether. First 8, all the instructions, they answer all the questions, but how to read between the lines. So we need the association of someone who has read between the lines, who is blessed to read between the lines, and by being in that association, we would also be able to read between the lines. We do not know how much love in store we have got for Krishna, but we need someone who can activate that love, who can channelize, activate that love. So by taking that devotee association, we become an instrument of hope for ourselves, for others. So, lots and lots to understand, lots to take in for my own personal, say, well-being or Krishna consciousness. There are two things only in this world, say, leader or follower, or in between us, leaders and followers, and in between us. Now, to be a good leader, one has to be a very good follower. One who is a great, very good follower, proper, pure follower, he is a good leader. He will make a good leader. Again, and also there, like this world full of teachers, students, and in between. Now I need to understand myself. Where do I fit in? Am I a teacher, a student, or in betweeners is not much of a great thing. We need to scale up ourselves from in betweener to a bit of a higher trajectory. So on this note, thank you very much for your patient listening and kind encouragement and participation. Always seek your blessings. Kindly help me. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम महापुराण की, शिला प्रभुपाद की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी.
Скорее, Bhakta Ashish Prabhu ki. Yeah.